Hello everyone. Today we're going to discuss all the possible questions that could appear from the story The Making of a Scientist. Are you ready? Let's begin. First, what discovery excited the scientific world? A. A new theory on evolution. B. A study on birds. C. A new theory on how cells work. Or D. A unique study on bats. So, which was the discovery that excited the scientific world? The answer is C. Correct. A new theory on how cells work. Perfect. Let's go to the next question. What was unique about the article being published in a scientific journal? A. It was the first time a college student's work was being published. B. It was the first time a young student received an award for the publication. C. No one from Pennsylvania ever got their article published in a journal. Or D. None of the above. So, what was the unique thing about the article being published in the proceedings of the National Academy of Science? The answer is it was the first time that a college student's work was being published. Okay, moving to the next one. What contributed to Ebright collecting things? A. His father motivated him. B. There wasn't much to do as he was alone and collecting is a solitary activity. C. He was interested because of the books he read. Or D. He wanted to impress his family members. Have you marked your answer? It is option B. If you remember in the story, he says, there wasn't much I could do there. I certainly couldn't play football or baseball with a team of one. But there was one thing that I could do, which was collect things. So since collecting is a solitary activity, he resorted to that. Okay. Next is, how did his mother help him? So this could be an important question of how his mother helped him in his scientific journey. So Ebright had a driving curiosity along with a bright mind. But his mother too played an integral role. So I've written this answer in bullet points. The first point, she encouraged his interest in learning by taking him on trips. Bought him telescopes, microscopes, cameras, mounting material and other equipment. So we already know that he liked collecting various things, and also he was an eager astronomer because he used to stargaze all night. So that is why she bought him telescopes, microscopes, cameras and other equipment. Second, she kept him company as he was lonely and would also bring home friends for him. Third, she would also keep him busy by teaching him things which he really enjoyed doing. So sometimes when he was bored and he had nothing to do, she found work for him. Not physical work, but making him learn things. So all of this he liked as he wanted to learn, and all of this aroused his curiosity. Next, what broadened his horizon and opened the world of science to an eager young collector? A. Analyzing things on the microscope. B. Spending time with his mother and learning new things. C. The children's book called The Travels of Monarch X. Or D. Traveling to Central America. So what broadened his horizon and opened the world of science? The answer is C. The children's book called The Travels of Monarch X, which is based on monarch butterflies. So that is what broadened his horizon and made him a eager person. At the end of the book, Travels of Monarch X, what were the readers invited to do? A. Visit Central America for 6 weeks to study monarch butterflies. B. Invited to help study butterfly migrations. C. They were asked to tag butterflies. Or D. Asked to raise and multiply the butterflies. So at the end of the book, what were they asked to do? They were not asked to visit Central America for 6 weeks. Yes, they were definitely invited to help study butterfly migrations. And how would they study the butterfly migrations? They were asked to tag these butterflies. They were not asked to raise and multiply the butterflies. But Richard Ebright did that. Now let's see why in the next question. Since Ebright could not chase and catch many butterflies, what did he do? So he decided to raise a flock of butterflies. So what did he do? He would catch a female monarch butterfly, take her eggs, raise them through their life cycle, which is from egg to caterpillar to pupa and then adult butterfly. And finally, after they became adult butterflies, he would tag them and set them free. So for several years in his basement, he raised thousands of monarch butterflies and set them free. Next, why did Ebright eventually lose interest in tagging butterflies? A. It was a tedious task. B. There was no much feedback. C. Only 2 butterflies tagged were recaptured. Or D. All of the above. So he eventually lost interest because it was a tedious task. Yes. There was no much feedback. Correct. Because out of the thousands of butterflies that he set free, only 2 butterflies that were tagged were recaptured, and they were not more than 75 miles from where he lived. So that is why he eventually lost interest. So the answer is all of the above. Next, what lesson did he learn when he lost the science fair? So when he lost the science fair, he got a hint of what real science is. He realized that winners had tried to do real experiments and not simply make a neat display. So what did he do? His entry was a slide of frog tissues which was shown under a microscope. But other people had done real experiments. So that is what he learned, that he also has to do real experiments to win. What real project or experiment did he undertake after he lost that made him win the country fair? So, he tried to find the cause of a viral disease that were killing nearly all of the monarch butterfly caterpillars. So, there was some viral disease that was killing all of these caterpillars. So, Ebright thought it was a beetle. And he tried to raise the beetle along with the caterpillars to see if his hypothesis was true. But it did not bring any significant result. Yet he went ahead and showed that he tried, and this time he won. So this was the first real experiment that he undertook. And even if he did not have a successful answer, still he won. What all experiments did he undertake? This is going to be a really long answer. Let's go through it. So the first point you already know, we have already discussed in the previous answer. Nevertheless, we will read it once again. So this was his first real experiment, which was he tried to find the cause of a viral disease that killed nearly all monarch butterfly caterpillars. Ebright thought it was a beetle that killed them and tried raising the beetles along with the caterpillars. But it did not bring any significant result. What was the next experiment that he did? Next, he tested the theory that viceroy butterflies copy monarch butterflies. So what was his theory? His theory was that since monarch don't taste good to birds, And viceroy butterflies taste good. They try to imitate the monarch butterfly so that they are less likely to be eaten. And later, Ebright said that research by other people showed that viceroys probably do copy the monarch butterfly. Next, he researched about the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on the monarch pupa. So, the monarch pupa has 12 gold spots. So, he researched about the purpose of the 12 gold spots, and he and his friend, that is why it is written they, built a device that showed that the spots were producing a hormone that was necessary for the butterfly's full development. So without these 12 gold spots, the hormone wouldn't be produced and the butterfly would not have a full development. So after that, he grew cells from the monarch's wings and showed that the wings would divide and grow only if they were fed the hormone from the gold spots. So that is one successful experiment that he did. Next, when he was looking at the chemical structure of a hormone, he discovered how the cells can read the blueprint of its DNA. And together, he and his friend later wrote a paper that explained the theory. So these are all the experiments that he did. Next, if his theory proves correct that DNA is the blueprint of life, what advantages will it bring? A. It's a big step towards understanding the processes of life. B. It might help prevent certain types of cancers and other diseases. C. He will get a huge award for his discovery. Or D. All of the above. So if his theory proves correct that DNA is the blueprint of life, what advantages will it bring? The answer is A. It is a big step towards understanding the processes of life, and it also might help prevent certain types of cancers and other diseases. Next, all of the discoveries were possible because A. of his exposure to experiments in school. B. because he lost the science fair. C. because his mother motivated him. Or D. because of his scientific curiosity. So all the discoveries were possible because of his scientific curiosity. Imagine he did not have scientific curiosity and his mother motivated him. Would he do all the discoveries? No, he will not. Next, was Richard Ebright multifaceted? So yes, he was not only good in scientific experiments, but he was multifaceted. Let's see how. Now I've tried to add these tiny illustrations here so that in the exam you can recall these illustrations and recall all the points. So he was a champion debater and public speaker. He was a good canoeist. So canoe is the small boat which they sit and oar. With oars they go. So he was a good canoeist. Next, he was an all-around outdoor person. He was also an expert photographer, where he specially took photographs of nature and scientific exhibits. So all of this proves that he was multifaceted as well. Next, what are the ingredients in making of a scientist? And why was Ebright successful in being a scientist? Now this is an important question, so pay attention. So first we will discuss what are the ingredients in making a scientist. Having a first-rate mind, that is very important. Add curiosity. So the person in order to become a scientist should be curious as well. And mix it with the will to win. Because if you give up in the first attempt itself, you cannot become a scientist. So having a first-rate mind, curiosity and the will to win will make a person a scientist. Winning not only for winning's sake or winning to get a prize, but to do the best job possible. So why was Ebright successful in being a scientist? Because Ebright had these qualities. Which qualities? The ones that we mentioned above. And he never lost his scientific curiosity. Also, he would always give that extra effort. And that is why he was successful. So I hope this answer is clear. So let's go to another very important question. What is the central theme of the story, The Making of a Scientist? Okay, so if it's a short question type, if you write so much is enough. But if it's a long question type, also make sure that you explain it in depth with the bullet points. So let's go to the answer. The story highlights how determination, a never give up attitude, curiosity, a supporting environment all adds up to shape a successful scientist. Therefore, with various experiences, hard work, a passion for learning can lead to significant scientific discoveries. So if a person just sit and read books, the person cannot become a scientist. All of these contribute in making someone a scientist. So first one is the person should have a drive to learn. Richard E. Bright had the inquisitiveness. Inquisitiveness means curiosity to learn. And the constant questioning of theories help him make significant discoveries. Second, persistence and perseverance. So in spite of facing setbacks and losing the science fair, he figured out his pitfalls and worked towards it. So because he came to know that just by showing the frog tissues, he was not going to win. So he made changes and made sure that he would not take the failure, but take something to learn from it and bring something positive in the next. Third, supporting environment. Ebright's mother played a key role in supporting his curiosity and providing him with materials and resources so that he can work towards his scientific pursuits. Also, Dr. Urquhart mentored him and helped him by suggesting various experiments to conduct. So I think even a supporting environment is important in helping someone become a scientist. The next one is knowledge beyond textbook. So just by rote learning, that is by hearting something, the contents of a book, it will not help a person becoming a scientist. The person should have a curious mind, ability to learn from a failure, a competitive mind, and be hardworking so that they are able to put in that extra effort. And we have come to the end of this video. We have discussed every question in depth, and I think now you are thorough with the story. Keep studying well, all the very best, and keep revising once in a while so that you can recall all these answers. All the very best. I'm praying for you. God bless.